the Mercury-Pluto convergence, the moment the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Prepare yourself. Something profound is about to cut straight through the distortion that has been clouding your perception for weeks, possibly much longer. December 13th is not just another date passing quietly by. It marks a decisive rupture point. A rare and potent alignment between Mercury and Pluto is taking place, creating what can only be described as a mental convergence. When this happens, concealed information, misrepresented realities, and buried truths do not gently surface, they emerge all at once. This is not symbolic fluff or abstract astrology. This is a moment of radical mental clarity. The universe is effectively handing you a lens that allows you to see beyond appearances and directly into what is real. If you've recently felt unsettled, like something was off but you couldn't quite articulate why, there's a reason. That sense that someone wasn't being fully honest, that feeling that a situation didn't align with the story you were being told. You weren't imagining any of it. You were picking up on signals beneath the surface, waiting for the precise moment when they could no longer remain hidden. And if sudden realizations have been hitting you lately, unexpected insights, instant understanding, clarity that seems to arrive out of nowhere, stay with this. There is a specific cause, and it is directly tied to what unfolds on December 13th. What most people misunderstand is that this event is not only about exposing secrets, it's about a fundamental reorganization of perception. The way you process information, interpret behavior, and discern truth is being recalibrated. Your tolerance for surface-level explanations is about to drop dramatically. Some of you have already noticed early indicators. The mental haze you've been carrying is thinning. The indecision that's kept you suspended between options is beginning to dissolve. Precision is replacing confusion. This Mercury-Pluto sextile, exact in the late afternoon, is not random. It is surgically timed to cut through the Neptunian distortion that has kept so many people second-guessing themselves. And for three signs in particular, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Aquarius, the revelations that emerge will permanently alter how you understand your current life circumstances. What this alignment does to the mind. Tomorrow, your cognitive system will not function the way it normally does. When Mercury in Sagittarius forms a harmonious connection with Pluto in Aquarius, your mental filters change. It's as if you're handed access credentials to locked rooms of understanding that were previously unavailable. Mercury governs thinking, communication, learning, and interpretation. Pluto governs what is hidden, suppressed, buried, or transformed. When these two form a cooperative aspect, the separation between conscious awareness and unconscious knowing nearly vanishes. You know those moments when you suddenly grasp what someone actually meant, beyond their words. When motivations become obvious and facades transparent. That level of perception becomes standard operating mode. Small talk loses its appeal. Performative conversations feel hollow. You won't be satisfied with anything that avoids the core truth, because you'll be able to detect avoidance instantly. And this isn't only about seeing others more clearly. Information from your own subconscious, memories, realizations, patterns will rise rapidly into awareness. Things that never quite made sense before will suddenly align. Long-standing questions may be answered in a single instant. This is not a gentle upgrade. It's decisive, comparable to switching from a slow, outdated system to high-speed processing overnight. Reality loads faster, details sharpen. The signal becomes unmistakable. The Neptune illusion finally breaks for months. Neptune has been operating like a master illusionist. Stationed in Pisces, it has blurred boundaries, distorted perceptions, and encouraged wishful interpretations. Even highly grounded individuals have questioned their instincts. But Neptune shifted direction on December 10th, at the final degree of the Zodiac. This is not subtle. It marks the end of an extended illusion cycle. Situations where you couldn't get direct answers, people whose words and actions didn't match, circumstances that felt simultaneously right and wrong. This was Neptune at work, eroding certainty and encouraging doubt. In many cases, this fog wasn't malicious, it was protective. Some truths require preparation, but that grace period is ending. As Neptune moves forward from its final degree, the lights come on all at once. Denial collapses, confusion clears. What remains is unfiltered reality. For some, this means discovering deception from others. For others, it means recognizing self-deception. Either way, the narrative collapses. Why everything has felt so frustrating? Mars has been adding pressure to this process. Its recent square to Saturn stalled momentum, creating a sense of effort without progress. Then comes its square to Neptune, intensifying confusion and misdirection. The message has been consistent. Do not act without full information. If you had moved forward aggressively in recent weeks, you would have done so based on incomplete or inaccurate assumptions. The delays were intentional. The Mercury-Pluto alignment sits precisely between these tensions, acting as the moment where the missing data finally arrives. And once it does, the timing becomes critical. On December 15th, Mars enters Capricorn, its most effective position. Action becomes strategic, disciplined, and decisive. The sequence is exact. December 10th. Clarity begins returning December 13th. Truth becomes undeniable December 15th. You gain the power to act correctly, Gemini. The masks fall away. Gemini, this alignment strikes directly at the heart of your relational world. For months, your partnerships have felt confusing or inconsistent. Words didn't align with energy. Signals were mixed. Trust felt uncertain. Some of this confusion stemmed from others not being fully transparent. Some came from you adapting too much, shifting personas to maintain harmony. That ends now, with Mercury activating your relational axis and Pluto illuminating higher truth. You will see exactly where you stand. Conversations may occur that permanently redefine connections. What has been unsaid will surface. Superficial interaction will no longer be tolerable. You'll demand honesty, depth, and substance, and you'll finally have the language to request it. Sagittarius, your voice reclaims its power. Sagittarius, this is a pivotal identity moment. Despite being a sign associated with truth, you've struggled to hear your own. Emotional confusion, family patterns, or inherited beliefs have muffled your authentic expression. This alignment activates your sense of self, while connecting it to deep, communicative power. The realization isn't just about understanding truth, it's about speaking it. You'll recognize how often you've restrained yourself to avoid conflict. That restraint has run its course. Your words carry weight now. When you speak honestly, circumstances reorganize in response. Information regarding family, siblings, or your immediate environment may suddenly clarify long-standing confusion. Patterns of self-sabotage become obvious, and most importantly, you realize that your perceptions were accurate all along. Aquarius, the blueprint is revealed. Aquarius, this event flows directly through you. Pluto's presence in your sign has been reshaping you quietly and relentlessly. But what's been hidden is how much power has already accumulated. This alignment connects your identity with your broader networks, goals, and social influence. You suddenly see where you stand, who truly supports you, and who feels threatened by your evolution. Neptune's distortion around self-worth dissolves. You recognize your actual value and influence. For many of you, This arrives as a complete vision rather than fragments. Everything clicks. Past struggles, present challenges, and future direction align into a single coherent picture. What is actually happening neurologically? This is not purely symbolic. Mercury-Pluto aspects correspond with measurable cognitive shifts. Neural pathways associated with conscious reasoning establish stronger connections with deep memory and instinctive knowing. Information that was inaccessible becomes immediately available. This explains sudden insight, instant comprehension, and the feeling of, "How did I miss this before?" Some may experience physical sensations, pressure in the head, heightened awareness, brief disorientation, as the mind integrates new data. Because this is a sextile, the universe is not forcing anything, and it is offering access. Willingness matters. A necessary warning: not everyone is equipped to handle what emerges. Truth destabilizes systems built on illusion. Relationships maintained through avoidance may fracture. Comforting self-narratives may collapse. If you're engaging with this information, it's because you've been preparing, consciously or not. Others around you may not have done the same work. Your responsibility is not to manage their reactions. It is to integrate your own awareness with restraint and wisdom. After the shift, once this clarity arrives, it doesn't disappear. Your perception is permanently refined. The Mars-Neptune square on December 14th will test this clarity, presenting one final attempt to reintroduce confusion. You'll recognize it immediately. Then Mars enters Capricorn. Action becomes precise. Decisions feel grounded. Implementation replaces hesitation. What you do next determines your trajectory. The 3-day initiation. This is not a single moment. It is a passage. December 12th tests readiness. December 13th delivers truth. December 14th demands choice. Some will resist. Some will act recklessly. Others will integrate and advance. Those who do the latter step into an entirely new timeline. Your role in the larger shift. This is not isolated. Each person who integrates this clarity contributes to a collective field of awareness. If you guide, teach, heal, or support others, your upgraded perception benefits more than just you. But discretion is essential. Truth must be handled responsibly. This moment is about recognizing your position within a much larger process of correction and awakening. Thank you for staying present through this transmission. If this resonated, reflect on what is becoming clear for you now. You're encouraged to share your experience and remain engaged as this new phase unfolds. Take care and remain attentive.